Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming cooldown once more. We're going to kind of talk about just how the first half of September is going to go, because it looks quite cold, especially for the central United States, but also for the eastern United States. Now, before I get started with this video, though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Now, I'd also ask that you check out our very exciting Patreon page in the description down below in the pinned comment as well. That's also where you can find our very exciting Discord server and Facebook group. For today's comment of the day, I kind of have an off-topic one, but I really like film, so I want to know, who do you think the best actor of all time is? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Also give us a good reason why. Alright, now let's get into this video, and we're taking a look first things first at, well, today, September 1st. Welcome to September. In meteorology, we go by meteorological seasons, and today marks the first day of meteorological fall, and it will last all the way until the 1st of December. So we are officially in fall. I go based on the meteorological seasons here at Direct Weather. So, congratulations, we've made it to the first day of fall. Summer is now over. Let's take a look here, and you can see there's already some colder than normal conditions up there for the northern central United States. But the east and a lot of the, very far inland eastern United States, I'd say the eastern third, is looking quite warm at this point with the exception of New England. What we're going to do is we're going to move on towards, well, September 2nd, and we're just going to take it day by day and take a look at how this progresses. We're going to start to see a cool down, a really potent one actually, move in. Alright, now here we are taking a look at September 2nd, and as you can see, the warmer temperatures actually get a lot warmer by the 2nd, so we're going to see some pretty hot temperatures there for the eastern United States. You might be wondering, like, what in the world is this guy calling for? By the time it's the 2nd and the 3rd, I'm going to have a lot of people that are like, that guy was calling for cold temperatures. Just be patient. Just be patient. It's not expected to start yet, unless you're in the central United States. The upper Midwest, yeah, you're already looking at some pretty chilly conditions. But let's take a look at the 3rd, and as you can see, this is when it really starts to move in. Look at those purples. That's where we're at about 8 to 12 degrees below average Celsius. And that brings me to an important question. Somebody emailed me and was like, why do you use Celsius? I think it'd be a lot easier if you use Fahrenheit. My website that I use right here, Tropical Tidbits, it's a great website, only goes based on Celsius. If I could use Fahrenheit, I definitely would. So I do apologize for that. The good thing you should know is basically, if it's calling for 12 degrees below average Celsius, it would be even further below average in Fahrenheit. So hopefully that makes enough sense. Obviously, it's very unfortunate that we have to use Celsius. When you're a weather person, it's obviously easy to know what that means, but I know to the average person, it's a little more difficult. So I try to use descriptive words like far below average, just to give you guys an idea of what you're going to be dealing with at the surface. Alright, now what we're going to do here is we are about to move on towards September 4th, where we're going to start to see that cooldown move further eastward. But believe it or not, that's actually not our most potent cooldown yet. So we're going to move on and take a look at that. Alright, so here we are at September 4th, and as you can see, that cooldown is, well, a little less potent, but it is moving further east. Notice that southeast ridge there. If you guys watched my most recent fall forecast, I am calling for that ridge to kind of fight back and try to bring some warmer than normal conditions for the southeast. I know it's disappointing, and a lot of people, want it to cool down, especially in those more southern areas. It will happen eventually, but unfortunately, that southeast ridge this year looks to put up a fight for at least a portion, maybe even more, of the fall and winter months, unfortunately, for a lot of you. Now, as we take a look at September 6th, we're kind of taking a 2-day jump here towards Sunday, September 6th, almost a week from now, so the confidence is kind of lowering, but, we can get an accurate depiction of what's to occur within this range. It's not too far out, but take a look at those purples moving into the Dakotas, Minnesota, Montana, Wyoming. That's, again, where we're seeing those 12 to 16 degrees below average, so it's basically the same as that previous cooldown as of right now. Multiple cooldowns. I hope you can kind of pick up on what I'm trying to call for here. It seems like we're going to have multiple cold blasts that are going to be quite quick, but, pretty potent for this time of year. It's going to feel a lot like October. I'm going to show you guys the actual temperatures in a minute for one of the frames, and it'll just show you how darn cold it's going to get. Alright, now let's take a look at this next frame and try not to be shocked, but we're taking a look at September 7th, and that's going to be on a Monday. And as you can see, those purples and pinks just become very widespread throughout most of the central United States and a lot of the central eastern United States. That seems to be the trend with this earlier portion of September as I'm taking a look at the models and just the pressure systems as well as the jet stream. It really appears like that central United States is going to have the most potent amounts of cold air. And the further east you go and the further west you go, the closer to normal it gets and even above normal. It's those oceans that are really influencing these temperatures and keeping it from going into the far below average column. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to where it's going to get even colder compared to normal for a lot of the plains and a lot of the central United States on September 8th. All right, now here we are taking a look at September 8th and take a look at that. Those pinks for Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas. That's where you're at about 16 to 30 degrees below average. A lot of those areas in the maybe 20 to 25 degrees below average Celsius. That is significantly below average temperatures. That is far below normal. Let's take a look at what that would mean. That's for the afternoon. Let's take a look at the actual temperatures. And as you can see for Oklahoma, portions of Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, and Colorado and Wyoming, that's going to mean lower 50s, potentially upper 40s if you're in those mountain ranges in the southern Rockies. As well as for North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, that's going to mean 50s. And if you go to northern Minnesota and northern North Dakota, again, maybe mid to upper 40s as a high in the first week, in the beginning of the second week of September. That is significant, and especially the further south you go, that is impressive. Lower 50s for Oklahoma. We have heat waves in September many times where it's 100 degrees in Oklahoma, so it can be 50 degrees warmer than this. And this is in Fahrenheit, obviously, so I don't know why the actual temperature is in Fahrenheit. Thankfully it is, but because that would be very confusing. But compared to normal, we have to use Celsius. Hopefully, maybe in an update they can do that. I could possibly email them. Here's the low temperature. So this is going to be for maybe 5 a.m. the next morning. So taking a look at Wednesday, September 9th. Widespread 40s, lower 40s for a lot of the central United States. But those blues, well, first off, those turquoise colors you can see for kind of the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, that's 30s. So we're seeing mid to lower 30s. And as you can see, there's that red hashed blue area. That's where we're below freezing. So a lot of these areas could see their first freeze in northern Minnesota, the Rocky Mountains. I don't know if they've had it yet, but I know northern Minnesota hasn't. This is significant. And this is what happens when you have 15 to 20 degrees below average Celsius. It can get significantly cold and really cold. I mean, this is you go outside, this is freezing. So for this time of year, that is excessive cold air. Very impressive, very interesting to see that this early on. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the last frame of the model run, and then we're just going to take a look at the weekly forecast here from the CFS model, and then we're going to close out the video. All right, so here is the last frame, not on the model run, but this is kind of the end of this model run. This is September 13th. I think this is the last accurate frame we get. It gets a little sloppy after that, which is a good sign that the model is getting confused. I think it has a nice hold on what it thinks is going to happen here. And as you can see, by the time we reach that 13th, we've taken a big jump here, but this is going to be Sunday, September 13th. It appears like we're going to have some colder than normal conditions for the southeast and a lot of the eastern United States. It's finally feeling it by the middle portion of the month, but we do see some warmer than normal conditions return for Nebraska, the Dakotas, Minnesota. Again, pretty far out, so we don't know for sure if that cooldown is going to come to an end, but it appears like it might finally be coming to an end. It's going to be interesting to see what happens for the second half of September, because if we see a cold second half of that month for the central and eastern United States, that's going to be a very cold month on average, and that would close us out with a very cold September overall. All right, now here's the 1st through the 8th of September, so the 7 days combined. This is our CFS V2. This is a very good model, actually. In the short range, the further out you go, the worse it gets. That's with every model, though. Let's take a look. So for the first week of September, actually, it's going to be quite warm for the eastern United States. You saw that the first few days of September here. It's not going to be too cold. For the central United States, the plains up through the upper Midwest, it could be slightly below normal temperatures, maybe moderately at times. And then the West Coast, obviously, far above normal temperatures. We have a strong positive PNA right now. Let's move to that second week of September, though, the 8th through the 15th. And as you can see, that's when the cold really moves in. Again, the southeast really struggles to get that cold air because it has a southeast ridge really fighting back right there. But the central, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and even the interior eastern United States, all dealing with some moderately below average temperatures. That looks to be a cold week from the 8th through the 15th. And then as we take a look at the 15th through the 22nd on this model, it thinks the cold air is actually going to stick around for the central, the eastern United States again, but the southeast still trying to hold on to those warmer than normal conditions in the southeast. Again, this model is a lot better in the shorter to moderate range. Once you get into this longer range, it can kind of just resample what it was already calling for and not really change. So I think that might be what's going on here. I think it hardly has a clue. So take this one with a grain of salt, but it could mean that there could be some colder than normal conditions for the central and eastern United States, especially the further north you go. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, which tropical system in the Atlantic do you think will develop first? And YTP MKR said, I think the one off the East Coast has a better chance of developing. And it did. It developed first, so that was a good comment there by him or her. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our diamond patrons, Madbirds and Mark J, alongside our platinum patron, Donna Carnes. And there you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.